Lights Out is an American old-time radio program devoted mostly to horror and the supernatural. Created by Willis Cooper and then eventually taken over by Arch Obler, versions of Lights Out aired on different networks at various times from January 3rd, 1934 to the summer of 1947, and the series eventually made the transition to television. Lights Out was one of the earliest radio horror programs, predating Suspense and Inner Sanctum. This is the witching hour. It is an hour when dogs howl and evil things are let loose on a sleeping world. Want to hear about it? Then turn out your lights. Lights out, everybody. It's later than you think.
Please, would you come to the bank with me? Please. I've asked so many people, but they won't listen to me. Will you come to the bank with me? No, don't turn your head. Please don't go away. Listen, if I tell you very carefully why I want you to come to the bank with me, you will come, won't you? He's locked up in there. He can't get any air. No, don't get excited. I didn't say he was locked up in a vault. All they've got in their vault is money. I don't care about money. All I care about is him. I didn't mean to tell you. All right, I did. You've got to come to the bank with me and help me. It's Fred Roth. He's in the bank and he can't get out. What are you laughing about? It's not so funny. I tell you, he's in the bank and he can't get out. He's been in there for I think it's 3 weeks. Blast you! Stop laughing! Please, listen to me. I'll tell you all about it from the start. I'm a school teacher at the Matson High School. I teach physics. It's a rational science, cause and effect, cause and effect. But Mr. Roth teaches in the same school, psychology, the way of the human mind. But that's not an exact science, is it? The human mind's not exact at all. And that started it. That's what started it. Mr. Roth said to me.
Well, speaking quite frankly and candidly, Miss Moss, I don't think very much of your exact sciences.
Well, 2 and 2 always adds up to 4, Mr. Roth.
Not where the human mind is concerned.
I don't understand.
Well, it is my profound conviction that the potentialities of the human mind and body have never been realized by any human creature.
But there have been great men. Plato, Lincoln, so many scientists.
Oh, yes, but only fractional greatness, using 1/10 of the power latent within themselves. It's all a matter of concentration. Thomas Edison used perhaps 1 iota more concentration than the average man and became one of the greatest inventors of all time. I tell you, Miss Moss, if men would concentrate their minds to the limit, the universe would be theirs.
That's a very innocent start, isn't it? Just a teacher talking about human mind. I thought nothing of it. Mr. Roth was such an intense young man. I liked his intensity.
Just think what could happen if a man could bring his mind to the proper point of concentration. He could move objects with his mind. Yes, why not? Think that a table should move, and it would move.
Why, Mr. Roth.
Now, think that he wanted to be a certain place, and he would be there. Men conceived this civilization just by a thought, and here it is. All is power of thought over matter. A man thinks a book before the book exists. He thinks a house, and only then the house can be. All is a power of mind over matter.
I liked to watch his eyes while he talked. They were so bright and burning. And his mouth as he talked, the way it twisted. I couldn't help liking Mr. Roth, could I? We had dinner together once.
Will you have a coffee with your dinner or later?
What did you say?
The waiter wanted to know if you wanted coffee with your dinner.
Oh, no coffee.
Oui, monsieur.
Very nice of you to have dinner with me, Mr. Roth.
Oh, on the contrary, I'm grateful to you. You're a very good listener.
Well, thank you.
I've done a great deal of work in the weeks since I last talked to you.
Have you? Well, please tell me.
Well, it isn't exactly work. It's more of a decision.
Yes?
Yes. I've come to the decision to stop theorizing. Yes, I've decided to put what I believe into practice.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, it's quite simple. The powers of concentration. I've decided to put into
Pardon,
practice...
monsieur, the fruit juice is for the lady?
Yes, for the lady. Concentration, Miss Moss. I've decided to put into practice my theory of concentration. I don't know what to anticipate, but I expect wonderful results, Miss Moss. I might even say unbelievable results.
Unbelievable results. Oh, must I tell you more? Please come to the bank. Oh, all right, I will tell you the rest. The day after he talked to me in the restaurant, Mr. Roth didn't come to school. I know that because at lunchtime he wasn't in his usual place in the cafeteria. And when I asked, they told me he suddenly had taken a leave of absence and that an extra teacher would be taking over for his classes. Well, I was very disappointed. A week went by, 2 weeks. I decided to go see him. I took a few days off of work. I found out his house number. Friday morning, I bought a new dress, a very becoming one. Then I went to visit Mr. Roth. I was certain he wouldn't be angry with me. It was perfectly proper for that I call on him as a friend.
Yes, Mr. Roth, he's at home. Yeah, he have the 2 back rooms. He has not been out of there for a week. Won't even let me go to clean up. You go right ahead. Head of the staircase and to the right.
Mr. Roth, are you in there? It's Miss Moss. Could I speak to you for a moment? Standing there knocking, I suddenly realized that the door was ajar. Was he? But he didn't answer, and yet the landlord had said he was home. I pushed the door open farther, and I glanced through the opening. Mr. Roth! Oh, Mr. Roth! Dead! Oh, no!
I'm alive.
Oh, I thought, oh, Mr. Roth, your face, the way you looked. What?
Water.
Yes.
Glass.
Yes, here. Oh, here. You are sick.
I'm not sick.
Oh, here.
Water.
Here, drink this. I'll hold it. Oh, doctor, I'll call a doctor.
No, wait.
But you're ill.
Well, listen to me.
Yes.
I'm not sick.
Well, then what?
I told you.
But I don't know.
I've been sitting here for a week.
Sitting for a week?
Concentration. Practicing concentration. Concentration. The experiment was most successful. Yes, most successful. I've proven that I can do what some of the Orientals profess to do. Slow down through concerted willpower the essential life processes. A week without food and water? Is that not a triumph, Miss Moss?
Well, I don't know, Mr. Roth, why do you do these things?
Well, I'll try to explain it to you simply. The human thoughts are like the rays of the sun, spreading in all directions. By the use of a lens, the rays of the sun can be focused on one point, and instead of warmth there is a focal point of intense light that can burn its way through all obstacles. And so, it is with human thoughts. If through concentration a man could focus them on one point, he would be a god among men. I tell you, Miss Moss, that I am confident that I, through training, can become one man in a million. Well, even as muscles can be trained, so am I training my mind. And the day when my training is complete, I will be able to do anything I desire. Well, you hear me? Anything, anything, anything.
When he said that, thin and weak and tired as he was, his eyes looked at me. I was afraid for him. I made up my mind right then. The first thing was to get him out of that room. He ate, rested, and then went out with me.
I don't see why I let you talk me into this, Miss Moss. I have so much work to do.
Well, the walk will do you good.
But where are we going?
Well, first, I want you to come to the bank with me.
I beg your pardon.
Well, you see, I've been thinking of taking a little vacation, and I need some money. I'm going to withdraw some.
Oh, I see.
I too want to get off someplace where I can concentrate.
Oh, yes. Most important.
Yes. Have you thought about going out of the country?
These buildings, Miss Moss. Look at them. Steel and concrete. So firm and so solid, so enduring. Well, you know something, Miss Moss.
Well, walking so fast,
once upon a time, they were only an idea in man's mind. Perhaps even now they have no solidity, but are just ideas hanging in air, through which a man with single-mindedness of purpose could walk as easily as if he were walking through air. Well, do you understand me, Miss Moss?
Well, I'm not sure. The country would be a wonderful place to work, now wouldn't it, Mr. Roth? He went into the bank. He kept talking about these powers of concentration. I hardly listened to him. All I could think about was that somehow I had to get him into a new environment. The foyer of the building where the bank was, we went in. People, elevators. Suddenly, Mr. Roth stopped. He stared at the wall. I said, Mr. Roth, what are you looking at?
This is the time.
Time for what?
I told you, when my subconscious reached the proper point of incubation, I would know that my powers had reached the point where I could do anything.
Oh, Mr. Roth, please.
Anything, I tell you.
Let's go.
Well, this is the time. Now. I must make use of that power now.
No, please. What are you going to do?
That marble wall straight ahead. I say I can walk through it.
No, please. Stop joking.
I will walk through.
No, Mr. Roth. Come back. Don't. Oh, Mr. Roth. Mr. Roth.
Hey, what's the matter?
On the wall. No.
Who?
No.
What?
Oh, Mr. Roth, he walked through the wall. Do you hear me? He walked through the wall. You still there, smug and self-certain, don't you? It couldn't have happened. But listen, you pinhead minds, I tell you it did. I saw it with my own eyes. Mr. Roth walked right through the marble wall and he went into it. And then he was gone. Do you hear me? Gone. Oh, but I mustn't call you names, make you angry, must I? Because you must come with me to the bank. Yes, I'll tell you more of just what happened on that day.
Never heard such a thing.
Now look, lady, take it easy.
Hey, get out of my way. The wall, he walked through that wall, I tell you, he walked through that wall.
Lady, for Pete's sake, please.
He said he would do it, and he did do it. He walked through the wall, I tell you, he walked through that wall.
Lady, don't make a disturbance now.
Let go of me. Don't hold me back. I've got to get to him. Mr. Roth, I've got to get to Mr. Roth.
Here. What's going on here? What's this disturbance?
Well, this lady, all at once, she screamed, and now she...
Yes, I've got to get to him. Tell him I'll let go of me, Mr. Roth. He concentrated his mind. He said he would walk through that wall, and he did.
What?
Yes, he did.
That's it, Mr. Cyril.
Tell him to let me go. The wall. Mr. Roth went through the wall.
My dear woman, are you out of your mind?
I've got to go. I've got to go get him. Mr. Roth, I've got
Keep
to get...
quiet. Stop making that noise. Stop it. That wall is solid. Solid concrete faced with marble. You better go home and stop disturbing the peace. Show her to the door, Riggett.
So they put me out. I stood in the street. I didn't know what to do. And then I knew. I would wait there until Mr. Roth came back, and he would come back. He'd gone through the wall, and he must have come out on the other side, and now he would walk around the building and come back and meet me there. So I waited.
Good night, George. See you in the morning.
I waited a long time.
Are you waiting for something, lady? The bank's closed, you know. I've seen you standing here ever since I got on my beat, so I thought I'd talk to you.
A long time. It began to rain. I stood there in the rain. Mr. Roth. And then a terrible thought. What if he... Oh, I ran into the bank building. It was locked. Let me in, please. Let me in. Listen to me. You've got to let me in. Mr. Roth, I've got to get to Mr. Roth.
Hey, lady, what... Don't you know the bank's been closed now for hours?
Oh, I don't care. I've got to get in.
No.
I've got to. I've got to get in there.
Hey, aren't you the one that's been standing out here all this time?
Let go of me.
No,
Mr. Roth is in there. I will get in there.
Hey, the door.
Let go of me. Mr. Roth, I've got to go get to Mr. Roth.
What's the idea of acting like this?
I will get in. I'll kick the door down. I will get in. Yes, I will.
Kicking the door in? No, you come with me.
I didn't get in to see Mr. Roth that night. No.
Order in the court. Order in the court. Prisoner will be held for further examination. Next case.
I tried to tell them, Mr. Roth, but no one would listen to me. All night and the next terrible days, no one would listen to me.
Now tell me, do you have dreams, Miss Moss?
Asking me questions over and over.
Do you think that people dislike you?
Over and over.
Have you often seen Mr. Roth or other people disappear?
Over and over.
When did you first begin to have these hallucinations?
Over. But when I tried to tell them about Mr. Roth, they started to say terrible things to me.
The fact of the matter is, Mr. Roth has disappeared. It is the opinion of the police that he decamped with this woman's money. Yes, took her money and ran off. Yes, took her money and ran off.
I didn't care what they said. I had to get to the bank. You know why? Mr. Roth had started for that wall, and I had seen him go through it, and I hadn't come around to meet me. So there was only one answer. He was still in that wall. And while Mr. Roth was in the wall, they were keeping me in a hospital. I had to get out.
How are you resting now, Miss Moss? Miss Moss? Well, where could she be? Window. Nurse. The woman in this room, she's gone. Out of the window. Nurse! Nurse! Miss Moss is gone!
got away in the street. It's still raining. I ran along the dark street until I was at the bank. Closed. There was a dark doorway, another building. I hid in the dark and waited all through the night until morning, until they opened the doors of the bank. I went into the bank. I walked towards the wall. That wall. I wanted to run into it, but I walked. Then I was there. The very wall he had gone into. Mr. Roth. Mr. Roth. Are you in there? Hey, it's Miss Moss. Ada Moss, Mr. Roth, please, if you are in there, answer me. They'll see me standing here by the wall talking. They won't let me stand there. Mr. Roth, please. I've got my ear close to the wall. If you are in there, answer me. I can hear you. You are in the wall. I was right. You did walk into the wall and stay there. Yes, but what are you saying? I can't understand you. Please, Mr. Roth, speak so I can understand you.
Miss Moss, please get me out of here. I'm in the wall. In the wall.
Oh, yes, I understand. Oh, I will get you out of there. Help! There's someone in the wall. There's a man in the wall. Help! I can't help me get him out. Mr. Roth, do you hear? I will get you help. Hurry, people. Bring axes, bring picks. There is a man in the wall. Mr. Roth is in that wall. They put me back in the hospital. They didn't believe me. They didn't help Mr. Roth. I was very sick. I don't know how many days I was in the hospital. Then I was all right. They let me out.
And this is your last warning, Miss Moss. You are to stay away from the bank. You are to behave yourself as the good, intelligent citizen you normally are. Your last warning, Miss Moss.
And all the time, Mr. Roth was in that wall, waiting for me to help him. And there was so little time left. I mean, such as Mr. Roth's power of concentration. He could, and he did perform miracles walking through a wall. But even conversing the strength and breath in the way that he said, slowing down the vital life of process. How long do you think he could live entombed in that wall? I had to get to him. But when I walked by the bank, hidden in the crowd so they wouldn't see me, I saw that there was a policeman there. They put a policeman there just to keep me out. I had to figure out some way to get in there. Tell Mr. Roth to keep alive, that I was working on a way to help him. I had to figure out a way. Oh, there's a store across the street, a store selling paint. That was the answer.
Something for cleaning? Why, of course, madam. We have, I think I'll have what you need. Oh, I suggest a pint. We do have it in bulk. Open it? Okay, sure. There, see, it's standard cleaning fluid. Lady? No, that match! Look out! Don't, it's flammable! Don't!
Help, fire! Grab that woman! She said fire to the store! Fire!
In a few moments, everyone was so busy that I was quite free to go into the bank. In a few seconds, my ear was held against that wall. Mr. Roth, I'm back. They tried to keep me away from you, but I am back, Mr. Roth. Oh, Can you hear me? Oh, alive. You're still alive. Oh, Mr. Roth, what can I do? What?
Help me. Help me.
Yes, I will. Oh, they won't stop me this time. I get something to tear down that wall. Fire axes off the wall. Mr. Roth, look, if you could see, I have got a fire axe. I'm going to help you. I am going to help you. I'm going to help you. We'll get you out. Get you out. Yes, I will get you out. Oh, the marble is cracking, Mr. Roth. I will get you. Get near to you. No one will stop me now. They don't want me to help you. But I am help. No, you won't stop me. I have got to help Mr. Roth.
Give me that axe.
Yes, I'll give it to you. Yes! I told you not to stop me. I told you not to stop me.
Lady, what? The police! You killed the police! Help! Help!
Stop, or I'll kill you. I will kill you. I'll kill you all. I've got to get free. See, Mr. Roth, I will kill you. Stand back. Stand back. I've got to free Mr. Roth.
Give me that axe!
Go away.
Please, give me that axe!
Go.
Stop! Give that to me! Do you hear me?
I'm locked up now. They locked me up. You've been my first visitor in weeks. Weeks! Do you know what that means? All of these days he has been in there all holding himself alive with all of his will. But sooner or later, if he thinks I'm not going to help him, he's going to give up hope. And he'll lose his will to live. And suddenly, he'll die. Do you hear me? He will die. Please make them let me go and come help me save Mr. Roth. If you don't help me, and you, it's always going to be on your conscience, won't it? At night, when you're all alone and you can't sleep, you're going to open your eyes and you will see Mr. Roth entombed in that wall. But it won't be Mr. Roth anymore. Just the bones of a man. Bones and dead, decaying flesh and worms. And the skull, it will talk to you and it will ask you, why didn't you help me? So I'm asking again, please, won't you come to the bank?
It sounds like you enjoyed it. The cast of Come to the Bank includes the voice that began the program and tonight's director was yours truly, Andre Dixon. The restaurant waiter was Jacob Palka. The landlord was Nell Brennan. The bank official and the bank clerk were both Marty McNulty. The bank guard was Tom Duggan. The bank employee was Ellie Babka. The police officer was Herb Thompson. The judge was Jay Summerfield. The psychologist was Sue Gadzinski. And the loud bystander was Amy Nieves. Mr. Roth, who walked into the wall, was John Byan. And Ms. Moss, who told us the events of the story, was Allison Byan. Now, here's a word from November's director, Jay Summerfield.
Well, hi, I can't top that, believe me. Normally I do April because it's the beginning of the baseball season and I'm kind of a baseball nut. But April didn't work out this year, so I get November. I don't know what's in November, but next month we have 2 shows. They're both kind of comedies. One of them is a really legitimate comedy, one of the Easy Aces shows. Jane gets a loan for her brother. And the other one is a Dragnet. You wouldn't think Dragnet would be funny, but it's kind of funny. So I hope you come back in November. What's the date of November? 16th. Thank you. Come back.
Thanks, Jay. We need to thank our hardworking press secretary, Amy Nieves, for her heroic efforts to get us press coverage. We have 2 members in our group who arrive early and remain to the very end to make sure we get great recordings of each performance. Our technical staff, John Gelsomino on the soundboard, and Lorenzo Cordova, who usually is manning the camera. Each month, one of the hardest working members puts in many hours behind the scenes preparing for our shows. Our fantastic Foley artist, Marty McNulty, Marty is also our webmaster, who makes it possible for you to see many of our past shows at our website, riversidetownshipradioplayers.com. That's all one word. Of course, none of us would be able to bring you these programs without the support provided by Supervisor Vera Wilt and her board of trustees, both past and present, of the Riverside Township. Jay Summerfield promises a fantastic evening of fun for the whole family. Be sure to come and bring the kids and grandkids, as well as a friend or 2. Remember, a good word from you is the best advertisement for our programs. We will see you again right here on the 3rd Friday of next month. November 16th at 7:30 p.m. This has been a Riverside Township presentation, and thank you for coming. Good evening and good night.